And just like that, the 2025 Royal Rumble is over. We are in the full swing on the road to WrestleMania this year in Las Vegas. Welcome back to Till the Bell. I'm your host, Harry. I'm once again joined by Alfie. Alfie, how are you doing?
I'm good. It was a good Saturday night. Um, yeah, very enjoyable Saturday night.
Well, we'll jump straight into it, right? What we're going to do is we're going to go in match order. I'll talk about certain participants and some big key moments from all the matches. So we started off with the Women's Rumble.
Hmm.
And an incredible match. I think we knew what it would be coming into it, and that was a spot fest, essentially. I think
Yeah,
they made a good choice with the first three entrants, all lasting over an hour. You had Io Sky and Liv Morgan at one and two, and then Roxanne Perez getting to the final two, giving us a little bit of hope for some reason.
yeah. Um, I enjoy. The first entrance I think were the complete correct decisions. Um,
Mhm.
Giving Roxanne Perez that kind of almost Iron Woman. Did she break the? She broke the record in the end, didn't she?
Yes, she now has the record for the longest time in the women's rumble.
Well, there you go. I think it was a great spot move for her going forward. I'm gonna guess she's gonna be shoved right into that kind of mid card belt. Uh,
I mean, she's still got things going on with Bailey in NXT. She's got that match coming up in a couple of weeks. I think as soon as that's over, push her up to the main roster, probably on SmackDown, because I think that's where she's needed most.
mhm.
Especially if you're going to have Rhea and Liv and Raquel all stay on Raw, obviously doing separate things with all the damage control. But we move on a little bit. We get to a couple of entrants here and there. You get Lyra, who had the unfortunate wardrobe malfunction, and I think it is fair to say because we do rag on her a lot here, but that was saved by Liv Morgan. Liv
Yes.
Morgan pushing her out of
Oh,
shot,
Jesus.
using that kind of initiative.
Yeah,
It was. In honest, I think Liv Morgan had a really good showing.
I do too. I think the match definitely benefited her as a
Mhm.
as she is. I think we spoke about it before. I feel like at this point in her career, I think the right move is to move her into that tag division,
Oh,
um,
definitely.
where a little bit of a weight can be removed off her shoulders. I said to you before as well. She's not as bad as she's been in the past. She's been in better form. It is a sport. It is an athletic sport. It's a difficult sport to get your head around all the time. She's probably just in a run of bad form at the moment. She got the belt at the wrong time. She held it in a bad time for the women's division. I think a lot of things kind of contributed to the factors of why people didn't enjoy her title reign. But yeah, she had a great showing at the Rumble, and I think it'll really help her out again. Even if they put her in the mid card kind of belt kind of conversation, we'll see what they do with her. But I think the Rumble definitely helped her.
Oh, definitely. And I still think there is, no matter what, a portion of the fans that still do love her. She's massively over, even as a heel. No matter what we say about Judgment Day, they get the reactions. And they're always there to fill up a spot.
Yeah, big
So
time.
we keep going down a little bit. You get Chelsea Green come in, obviously the United States champion. A couple more entrants in. You get Lash Legend, who's the first kind of surprise name, the NXT call up. Or the second, sorry, after Roxanne. Not getting much of a showing. Then Ring fills up some more. You've got all of the Pure Fusion Collective coming
Yeah.
into the match. I almost called them the Lesbian Shield then. They had
Yeah.
their kind of moment where they cleaned house before Naomi came down, kind of leveled the playing field a little bit with um, Bianca Belair being there, which I think then sets us up. Well, sorry, before that, you've got Naomi coming in, most of kind of the ring full up now. So you start thinking, oh, okay, maybe we start to get a name kind of soon who could not necessarily clear house, but throw some
Yeah.
bodies, get people down, have that show in. And then you get Piper Niven, who comes in. I think she deserved that spot, if I'm honest, because only the one elimination. I can't remember who it's off the top of my head. Let me just double check. It was Chelsea. Oh, it was
Chelsea
Chelsea Green. Of
Green.
course, it
Yeah,
was.
it was Chelsea Green. Yeah.
Which I did predict in the State of Play five predictions for the Rumble.
Yeah.
I said that or Theory and Waller. This Rumble was not big enough for Theory and Waller.
No. No.
But then your big kind of name coming in at number 19 is Jordan Grace,
Yes.
announcing that she signed with the company, which we've all known for about a year. Since she was in the last Rumble, we'd all realised that, well, her contract expires in a year. She's 100% going to WWE. I've never seen a more WWE name than Jordan Grace. I think she fits in
Yeah.
so well. And I think there's a big case we made that she goes up to the main roster straight away.
Hmm. Was she eliminated by Roxanne Perez in the end?
Julia, which is what makes
Oh,
me think that
yes, they
it will
might
be an
put her in
NXT
NXT
run.
for a little bit. Look, but we've got the draft coming up after Mania anyway. Look, it's a couple of months. It wouldn't hurt her career to go down to NXT for a little bit. It definitely wouldn't
Oh,
be a step
definitely not.
down. It'd definitely still be a step up. Um, but we'll see. She looked good in the Rumble. She
Hmm.
definitely looked good, and yeah. I mean, you put on a show in them kind of matches, and you're gonna get noticed, you know. And whether that spot that they go for where she gets eliminated by an NXT superstar,
Hmm.
it's for someone like Triple H or Shawn Michaels, it's win-win because if she puts a good enough showing on, you can promote her to the main roster without that spot being a difficulty. And if you feel like she has to go to NXT for a while, you can put her in NXT, and that spot then makes more sense. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, a good spot for her. A good decision by WWE, I think, as well on that one.
I completely agree. So we got number 20, Meechin, and then number 21, I think is it's fair to say probably the biggest surprise of the night in
Yes,
both Rumbles, and that's Alexa Bliss coming down. First time in 2 years. So it was the Rumble 2023 was her last showing on WWE TV where she lost to, I believe, Bianca Belair on that
mm,
card.
yeah,
She came down, everyone was really happy to see her. I'm not too sure where they go with her after this. I think the rumors are it looks like White Six,
yes.
but I'm not sure if that's the direction I'd go.
I don't think she's ready for a kind of a front seat at this point in time.
Hmm.
You could definitely put her in the mid card belt debate, but if you're going to put her in the White Six, then I'll go for it. Whatever they want to do with her, she's really malleable to whatever is best for kind of business, I guess. But no, genuinely, Alexa Bliss, that music hit, and that is probably the biggest pop I've heard in the Women's Royal Rumble, like
Oh,
almost
definitely.
ever. It was huge. She's a huge superstar, and she's unbelievable in the ring. So
I think the only thing that comes close at all is the 2019 Becky Lynch spot. Well, obviously it
yeah,
wasn't. It was kind of a returning in. She'd been out for a month or two. Getting that big spot at the Rumble where Finlay books himself to be the hero. But other than that, I think Alexa Bliss really up there. I'm really happy to see her back. I think she's someone that has proved time and time again that she's just a good, solid hand to have. I don't
yes,
think she'll ever be world champion again. I don't
no,
think she
probably.
needs to be.
I mean, there's always times when you might need a placeholder champion, but that's
Of
as
course, yeah.
much as I'd imagine that she could be. But she's a good champion. We've seen it before. The
Oh,
way she holds
definitely.
the belt is not just like physically with over her shoulder and with the short straps. I mean more like as a prestigious thing. I mean she holds it with some sort of it brings something back to the belt.
Oh, definitely. I think she's a credible champion as well. If we were
Yes,
to get to that point. 22, we get Selena Vega. 23, Cancellery, and then another surprise name at 24. Stephanie Vaca comes in, has a solid 20-minute showing, and I think there's a case right now that NXT's women's division is stronger than both brands on the main roster. I think the depth you've got in it, especially with Jordan Grace now. I think you've got Jada Parker, who's in this match. You've got Lash Legend still. You've got Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Julia, Stephanie Vaca, not to mention people like that are going after the Women's North American title and everyone in that kind of big feud, let alone Jordan Grace. And I think there's a case now that a lot of them deserve the call up. Obviously, you don't want
definitely.
to rip out the NXT roster from under because that's what they did before and left everyone there but Bailey.
Yeah,
Uh, but then go a bit. Oh no, we get straight to another surprise entrance afterwards. I think you call it a surprise entrance. I think she's been in most women's Royal Rumbles now, and that's Trish Stratus at number 25.
yes,
Another decent showing. She was one of the names that was always kind of floating around. Oh, she'll be in the Rumble.
yeah.
No Lita this year.
No, but Trish Stratus is an OG. She's a professional, and she's always nice to see in the
Hmm.
Rumble. Puts on a good show. No complaints about her being in it at all.
Oh, definitely a reliable hand.
Yeah.
26, you get Raquel Rodriguez, who you know she's a bad guy because she wears sunglasses indoors. 27, which for 27, I was like, if they're going to give it to Charlotte, she's not winning it because that's them leaning too much into the coming back at number 27,
Yeah.
which before last year was the biggest spot to have at the Rumble.
Mhm.
But Charlotte Flair comes out, automatically eliminates Mia Yim, Piper Niven, and when Roxanne Perez stays in for this point,
Yes.
you then get Julia, who very late in the Rumble, I think that's proven that they put a lot of faith in her, that they rate
Yeah.
her incredibly highly.
And the
And
face off
then,
with Io Sky was really good as well. I thought that was a really
oh
good
yeah,
little
definitely.
face off. And I don't know if they'll be enemies in WWE or they'll be friends. I don't know what the future is for them two, but I think it's a very good future between them two.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about that spot. There was just so much going on at this
There
point in the
was
match,
a
but it was
lot,
it
yeah.
was an incredible moment. I think we'll get to a point where that is a big main roster feud. I think for now it's just sowing the seeds. This could be something we don't see for a year or two, but when we do, it's going to be a welcome addition to whatever show it's on. I
Yeah,
think both women are incredible.
I think you summed it up earlier when you said, you got to keep some of them down there in NXT. Um, yeah, a year, maybe even a bit too much. You
Oh
got
yeah,
talent coming through NXT as well. Look, there's always the talent coming through, and as we've seen in the past couple of years, the talent coming through NXT has been top level, especially in the women's division. I mean,
oh
the men's division
completely.
as well, obviously, but the women's division has produced some absolute, I mean, stars in like name wise in that kind of company. Yeah, they've done really well, and I trust NXT and Shawn Michaels and all the kind of development team down there to do the same thing again in the next, I don't know, 5 years maybe. That kind of schedule, that kind of rota.
You then get sorry, moving on. You then get the woman who I think gets the best showing in the whole Rumble at 29, and that's Nia Jax. I think they've perfected how to kind of present this Nia Jax character. I mean, only in there for 8 minutes, but 9 eliminations. She got that big elimination where she threw everyone over at once.
Yeah.
She was always going to get eliminated by Charlotte because it's the big monster killing thing to try and get someone over. Just touching on it quickly. Charlotte Flair, heel or face? I can't tell.
I think it's too soon to tell at the moment. I mean, you come back in 27, you don't really have a lot of time in the ring.
Mhm.
I didn't see the press conference after, I'll be honest. So, but that
She
doesn't
was
really tell
very,
you
she was
anything.
very much like what she always is, which is she's grateful, but she's also not modest in the slightest.
Okay. Well, yeah, look, Charlotte's always been better as a heel than a face. So, look, you have to imagine it's a heel, right?
Yeah, I don't see a world where it isn't.
No, I think the world that I do see it is a bad decision to make
Oh,
going
definitely.
forward.
I think they could do it. I think there's a big chance that Charlotte comes back as a baby face, but then it feels like you're also.
That's the that's the problem then though. Who do you match her up with? I mean, heel, you can easily match her up with Rhea.
I think also, but I think the thing is, WWE haven't decided whether Tiffany's a
Tiffy
baby face or a heel or not.
or whether either of them are going into WrestleMania as champions. I'm sure Rhea probably will,
I'd
but
imagine
Tiffy's
Rhea
hard.
does. She's only just won the belt. Tiffy, I'm not
Has
sure who
only
else
just,
could win it.
yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see what happens at Elimination Chamber. I've said to you loads, and I said to you Saturday night as well. I think this is the best position WWE have been in a long time
Oh, definitely.
in terms of unpredictability. In terms of, I mean, the matches. We'll get onto the other matches apart from the Rumble in a minute, but man, it was just awesome. So yeah, I genuinely believe that WWE is probably in the best position it's been in a long time.
I think a better part of a decade.
Yeah, I think the last time it was in this good of a position was probably 2017 SmackDown Live. Them kind of faces
That
around then.
that's kind of what I was thinking of. Yeah, that kind of big
Yeah,
boom period they had. I think this
yeah,
is a much bigger scale, obviously,
definitely.
but
It's
it's
both
their
brands.
biggest boom. Yeah, it's their first boom period since that time as well.
Yes, 100%.
And then number 30, you get Nikki Bella. Not much to say about it. A nice little cameo from her. She's only on this because she's on the Traitors US on Peacock, and
Yeah,
obviously
I don't
that's where it's
mind
streamed in
the
America.
I don't mind the cameo. I think we all would have preferred AJ Lee, but at this point, is she going to come back? I don't know.
I
I don't
think
know.
it's a weird one with this Rumble because there are certain names that you thought would 100% be there. You're talking Becky Lynch, you're talking Jade Cargill,
Yes.
who just weren't. And
Yeah.
then you see the decision that Alexa. So I don't know if you saw this. Alexa Bliss was only brought in last minute.
Oh, really? Wow.
That was that was meant to be Shotzi from NXT,
Okay.
which doesn't make
Very
much sense to
strange.
me because she's not been seen on the main roster since last year's Royal Rumble.
No.
So in that world, we would have had basically all the NXT names, and then The only real surprise would have been Jordan Grace.
Yeah,
So I think I'm happy that. Well, I'm obviously I feel bad for Shotzi. She's on a really good run in NXT,
yeah,
but it would have been a weird Rumble without Bliss, without Cargill, without AJ, without Becky.
definitely. But I think the mind kind of goes to, is Becky ready to come back? Is AJ Lee ever going to come back? That kind of thing. Jade, I don't know what's wrong with her. She was injured not long ago, but I'm sure she's back in action now.
No, no, the injury was work.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there you go. But then you don't know. It's, I'm sure Triple H has got a decision to make,
Oh, of course, yeah.
because Jade's kind of situation with Bianca and Naomi, it's a difficult one to kind of navigate. Do you split them apart? I'm sure you do at this point. But who do you turn heel is probably the question you're looking for.
Well, I mean, there was a kind of a hint towards things in this match that I didn't touch upon, and that was when Jordan Grace came down. Jordan Grace and Naomi they have a friendly little rivalry that they've gone back a couple of years now. They hug each other in the ring, and Bianca Belair is visibly not happy. Like she
Yeah,
gets in Naomi's face and things like that, being like, "Oh, what are you doing? I thought we were friends." And it's not what I thought they would start hinting at, like a tease between the two of them splitting, because I thought the whole thing would have been Jade comes back and they both turn heel on Jade. But if you're going to keep Naomi as a babyface as well and
yeah,
just turn, I think Bianca has to go heel.
definitely. I think she's been faced for far too long now, hasn't she? So give her a run
I
as a
think
heel and see how it works.
I think we were talking about it on Saturday with Arthur, state of play writer Arthur, and he doesn't think that she's at a point where she can ever go heel. She's in the Cena spot. But I think they're hinting at it enough now, and she's not this kind of blue-eyed baby face that Cena
I,
was.
I've never seen her as a in that Cena spot. I think she could be both. I think she's just been
Oh,
face for
definitely.
so long. No, I don't believe that at all. I understand where he's coming from, that it has just been so long that she's been this babyface kind of. But no, I definitely do believe that she's good enough to go heel and make it convincing.
Oh,
I
completely.
mean, she's never really had a fair shot at it, so give her a chance.
I completely agree. So we get to the final three. You've got Nia Jax, you've got Charlotte Flair, and you've got Roxanne Perez, who, like we said earlier, has broken the record by this point. All three of the first three were in the final five. I mean, lasting one. So the three, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, all lasting around the same time. 1 hour 6, 1 hour 7 minutes. So any of them could have been given the record. But I think
Yeah,
it's nice that they made this point to give it to Roxanne.
yeah,
But she throws out Julia. Then Nia Jax gets thrown out by Charlotte. Which leaves you
yes.
with the final two of Charlotte and Roxanne. And for just a minute, all logic goes out the window because there's surely no way that Roxanne Perez can win the Rumble. It would make no storyline sense. There's no roads leading to it. But everyone is just
Oh,
so upset about Charlotte Flair.
yeah, we just before it even happened, before even the event happened, she announced she was coming back at the Rumble, and you went, "Yeah, that's your winner right there." Um, it, yeah, it's disappointing. It is disappointing, but you know, worst case scenario at this point is we get to see Rhea v Charlotte again at
Oh,
WrestleMania,
definitely. Or Tiffany
which,
Stratton gets pushed up the card and made to feel like a main eventer.
yes, yeah, I mean, all things considered, it's not that bad. It could
Hmm.
have, I guess, yeah, it could have been worse. Realistically, it could have been worse. I mean, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania could have been a lot worse. And I'm not, that could technically still happen. I'm sure it won't. But
Don't put that into existence. No, no, we're done and we're moving on. Okay,
yeah,
we're done and we're moving on. Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley will never be in the same ring again for the
yeah,
rest of my life.
okay. How long are you living?
Knowing how Triple H likes to book things about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're squaring off again.
Yeah,
All in all, though, I thought it was an incredible Rumble. I
yeah,
think at the time I thought it was a lot. So I've went back and watched it a couple of times now. I thought it was a lot better at the time than I do now. because it's the adrenaline of it's the first Rumble of the night. You wait a year for this. I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's a really fine Rumble.
Yeah,
It was
I think one
exciting.
that
It was full of spot. Sorry, it was exciting. It was full of spots,
yeah,
and it was everything the women's Rumble needs to be.
definitely it definitely put on a good show for a lot of the women in that division. I think that's what the Rumble is for. Especially
I think it's what
as
that
a new
division needed as well.
yeah, especially also it's a new thing, the Women's Royal Rumble. Relatively, it's quite a new thing. Um, and they've put on a show, and that's what it needed to do. I think I'll probably agree with you. I'll probably give it a 7.5 maybe. If we're doing decimals, and I think 7.5 would probably be fair. But yeah, yeah, definitely a solid opening to a good show.
I think you talk about kind of solid matches. That brings us perfectly on to the next match on the night. It was a nice way to cool down. I think the first half of the show was very much big spots. And then you get to the big two stories, second half of it. And we'll touch on that in a second. But for the WWE Tag Team titles, we had DIY go up against Motor City Machine Guns in a 2 out of 3 falls match. This goes about 14 minutes, which
Mhm.
I worry wasn't long enough time for the stipulation. I think a 15-minute tag match is fine, right? I think that's a great amount of time. Not if you've got to cram 3 falls in there.
Yeah,
Especially when the first fall I thought was really smart. It was the fake out tag between Gargano and Ciampa. It's something that really fits their character right now. And it's that one quick fall. Obviously, Motor City Machine Guns bring one back to make it 1-1. Then, about 12, 13 minutes into the match, Motor City Machine Guns have a visual pin and get pulled out. Oh, no, sorry. No, they don't get a visual pin. They're about to get a visual pin, and then they're attacked from behind by the
yeah,
Street Profits. I think it's a really good spot to give the Street Profits. I think I'm happy to see them back on TV. I think they've been stagnating for a long time now, pretty much since the Usos about 2 years ago.
yeah,
I think, well, yeah, 2023 was the Usos.
definitely.
I think DIY winning was the right decision. I think it was. I think it was a really good match.
It
I don't
wasn't.
know if I
Yeah, it
sounded a
was.
bit too negative on it there,
No, no.
but moving in from it, I think you've set up the SmackDown Tag Team division now with DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, and the LWO. I think that that's a nice little core to have going there. Not the LWO, sorry, Legado del Fantasma. The LWO are on
Yes.
Raw, but Zelina Vega's just moved to SmackDown.
Right.
But that's a nice core to build your tag division around. I think you get your big multi-man match at Mania. I think
Hmm.
that's the first kind of port of call is get all of these guys on the card because I think it worked well last year. I know you had the interesting stories last year of like Miz and R-Truth and the
Yeah.
Judgment Day splitting and things like that, but it's always a bit of fun. And these
Yeah, it
guys
is.
put on a really good show. They're all great. It wasn't the NXT Takeover match I think a lot of us were expecting, but I feel like all you can say about this match is 4 great wrestlers put on a great match. Big surprise.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. Um, I, I think I said before the match I was a bit bored of the match itself. I think Motor City Machine Guns have been in that title picture for far too long. But then again, you look at the tag division and it's not hugely strong. You know, it's better than it is on Raw. We spoke about this on Saturday as well. It is better than it is on Raw, but it's still not great. The Street Profits coming back and going to turn heel now
Hmm.
and doing that kind of heel turn will probably kick it into gear a little bit. But yeah, it was a great match, solid match to continue a solid evening. It definitely it definitely fit the Royal Rumble name.
Oh,
Do you know what I
definitely.
mean? It wasn't a letdown at all. It was a nice little kind of easing you out of the Women's Royal Rumble to keep you. And it kept us watching. So
I think moving on from that was a match that I think we all expected to be quite dark, quite bloody, quite. But I don't think any of us really expected it to go this far. And
no,
that's for the undisputed WWE title and the Winged Eagle title, which honestly Cody should have just been the other one. Keep the Winged Eagle, please.
yeah,
We had Kevin Owens going up against Cody Rhodes in a ladder match. And oh my God.
What a match.
I think both men might be actually dead now. I think
I've
both of them
heard
died in the ring that night.
I've heard of reports of injuries to both, but I haven't heard anything
Um,
concrete.
so Cody's storyline injured. That was announced on
Yes.
the post show because I don't think you sell a serious injury by saying, "Oh, undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes is injured following the drastic events of tonight," with maybe a chance of his WrestleMania plans being But tune in on SmackDown to find out what's happening.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm not
I
sure
think.
about Kevin Owens.
Oh no, Kevin Owens is dead. Kevin
Okay,
Owens has
good.
been murdered.
Okay, well that's nice. He was
He's
up
got
and
no
alive at the
neck
end of the
anymore.
match, but I've seen him do that kind of spot loads of times. Him going through ladders is a thing that he likes to do.
To be fair, I've seen him do it and then enter the Royal Rumble an hour later.
Yeah,
Which made me think for a second that might be what's happening.
I'm sure he'll probably take a back seat now for a while.
I think it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and I think you could take a couple of weeks to build that with Sammy, with Kevin Owens not being on TV, Sammy being kind of visibly shaken about it. I mean, it wasn't a great night for Sami Zayn, and we'll touch on that a little bit later as well. But I
Can I
think
can I
that's his
can I ask an
clear.
opinion quick? What is
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
chance? What is the chance? Because at the end of that match, Sammy looked very concerned for Kevin. What is the chance that the WrestleMania
Hmm.
match is Cody Sammy?
I've seen this. Is it babyface though? If that's what you do, because
Cody turns.
I've got a slight worry
I think
that
Cody can
Sammy
turn.
turns.
I no, because I think it'd be Sammy confronting Cody about what he did and Cody
Mhm.
turning. I think it would make sense. I
Well, I
think we
think,
saw Cody almost snapped in that. I mean, he did snap in the Kevin Owens match, and he
Mhm.
looked a bit heelish, the kind of moves he was pulling off and the
especially
things
at
he
the
was doing at
end
the
where
end.
it was very
Yeah,
much gloating in the middle of
yeah,
the
big
ring.
time, big time. It would be difficult to book because of the John Cena kind of press about it and stuff like that. But we'll see. And Jay's obviously got the chance at Mania, unless Cena captures the belt and we have a John Cena match at Mania.
I think it would be a waste to have Cena win the belt just at the Chamber. I think Cena announcing himself for the Chamber is him announcing himself for like a number one contendership chamber, or for a world title chamber that will get taken out of.
Yeah,
But it's a good place to start by talking about the men's Royal Rumble. I could talk about this Rumble all day, honestly. I'm gonna wait until WrestleMania to see what I really think about it, to see
yeah.
how all the storylines finish off. But this is up there with kind of my favorite Rumbles of all time.
I think I think I'm not going to look ahead to Mania right now. I think I need to take it at face value. And what it was at face value was a ridiculously good Royal Rumble. Almost perfect. Like I think, you know, it was just amazing. And I keep seeing it. And every time I see it now, the double stomp from Rollins on Roman's head, and I know we'll probably
Oh
get onto
God.
this. That double stomp, I keep seeing it, right? And it just makes me more impressed that them two, man, they're so good at what they do. They are
It
so
makes me
good at what they
physically
do.
want to throw up in my mouth when I see that stomp, though.
But it's like obviously Roman was ready to take it because he's
Oh
just
no,
up and about
definitely,
in it.
yeah.
And that is how good they are at their job, and it is crazy how good they
It's like
are.
when you see the Kevin Owens do the package pile driver. Like
Yeah,
you know he's the safest man in the world to do it, but it does
yeah.
make you like physically cringe a little
Wince.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it was just incredible. That side storyline. I think we said it on the night. We will get onto the Royal Rumble, obviously. And I don't want to take it away too much, and we'll come on back onto it. But that side story with Rollins, Punk, and Roman out on the. We forgot the Royal Rumble was going on for a second.
Oh yeah.
It was so good. It was so good. What them three, brilliant. Absolutely great professionals. Especially, I know you like Punk, but I'm gonna shout out Seth and Roman here. They're my boys.
Oh yeah.
Um, and they even we'll get onto it. We'll get onto it. Go ahead. Go on.
Well, from something that I really enjoyed talking about to something that I don't want to talk about. And you got one and two. You got Rey Mysterio, and you've got Penta.
Yeah.
Now I've made this abundantly clear that I am the biggest Penta fan in the world, and he has an incredible performance tonight in the Rumble. He really gets the
Yes.
Iron Man spot. He gets 40 minutes, but almost immediately,
Yeah.
both of Penta's feet touch the floor.
They do, and it is a shame, but it's botches happen. And that is a
No, of
thing
course,
that is
yeah.
it's a
I'm not
way of the
holding it
business.
against him or anything like that. It's just a case of I was a bit disappointed that
Yeah,
I was very happy to turn around and say, no, didn't happen.
yeah.
I was very happy to turn around and say, like, oh, everyone can just pretend this never happened and we can move on. And it's the right thing to do. But I was just a bit, I was a bit upset that that's all people, because you know that's all people are going to take from it. From Penta's
But
40-minute Iron Man
you
performance.
know, a thing that WWE could do now though is lean into it. You know, I've seen them do it before, where them kind of errors, them kind of botches can make storylines. And I don't know who Penta got eliminations, right? Who did he eliminate? Them kind
Oh,
of.
Penta only got the one elimination. The only person he eliminated was Ludwig Kaiser. But
Yeah,
he had some massive stare downs with like the likes of Bron Breakker,
yeah,
um, everyone really. He was teaming up with Roman at points,
yeah.
and obviously
The thing,
Finn Balor eliminated him.
yeah, you know, I mean at the start as well, him facing off with Ray, it
Oh, of
was
course, yeah.
it was almost like a passing of the torch. And I know Penta's not like very young, and he's been about, but you know, from one of the greatest luchadors ever to another one of the greatest luchadors ever, it was a nice moment to see. And then you know, they both put on a good show in the end.
Oh, definitely. So you got Chad Gable coming out next, getting a nice 20 minutes in the match. I think the stuff he's doing with Penta at the moment and this all ever hating luchador story that Chad Gable's got going on, I
Yeah.
think it's funny. I think it's a good spot to have Gable in when there's not really much else for him to do. It's a shame to
No,
say
not
because I
really.
love Chad, but
He's so good at his job, and that is the problem. We speak about this all the time, Dolph Ziggler syndrome. I think that's what we named it, you know.
Mhm.
It is that. He's so good at selling, he's very good at his job. Um, but yeah, at the moment there's no place for him, just because of who is in the Intercontinental
Yeah.
belt kind of conversation at the moment. Maybe after Mania, I think he definitely could be a name for that kind of
Oh, definitely.
that conversation. But right now, no. I mean, it's Bron Breakker, it's Penta, maybe Sheamus as well. Them kind of names are in that bracket for Mania.
Oh, definitely. And then coming on from that, you got Carmelo Hayes and Santos Escobar both coming in. And I've got to try and remember the order of this. They did a really fun spot that I really did enjoy where Escobar almost gets thrown out over one side and holds on. Mello on one side, Penta on one side, Ray on another. They all flip back in, and the four of them all hit Gable with a super kick at the same time. It was one of those just fun spots that you love to see in a
Yeah,
Rumble, where it's just a proper heel getting his comeuppance.
definitely. I don't know what else to add to that. That yeah, take it through it perfectly.
Well, coming on from that, you got Otis, which at the time I thought was a bit weird. It's a big, big Rumble. I don't know if Otis is big enough, but looking back now, it makes sense why they did it. Because you then get Bron Breakker, who comes in, wrecks house, eliminates Hayes, eliminates Escobar, and then you get number 8, Akira Tozawa.
No.
Carmelo Hayes not happy about being eliminated, punches him in the back of the head, and that for some reason kills him.
Yeah, he's like a referee made of glass.
Like Akira Tozawa, I get he can't. I get that he's not very good, right? Well, he's a great enhancement talent, and he's a comedy character. But I get that he's meant to be weak. But one punch killed him.
I mean, it really took him out of it.
Like
Good God.
he had to get carried to the back, which we get. We get this long continuous shot of Tozawa getting carried to the back. Triple H is telling him that he's got to go out there. Adam Pearce tells him that he can't because he's got a bit of an ouchie on the back of his head.
Yeah,
So Triple H turns around and look who's standing there, which I'd like to point out, and you can corroborate this. The second Akira Tozawa got taken out, I turned around to you and said, I show speeds in the Rumble.
yeah.
I
I
was
think it
so
was.
proud of myself.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a good prediction. You got quite a few of them right on the night.
Oh, I was on top form in the men's Rumble.
Definitely.
So I show speeds told to come out. His stupid World Cup song starts playing, and I mean, in terms of celebrity cameos, which that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get much better.
No, it was all right. And you
He
know
comes
what?
in, he gets us the shock elimination. Him and Bron Breakker teaming up to throw Otis over the top rope. Then he does
Yeah.
his little backflip in the middle of the ring,
Oh my
and then
God.
he dies.
Oh my God.
And then he dies.
Break it, and I've seen it back so many times, so many because it looks better and better each time it happens. Bron Breakker splits that man in half. You know what I mean? It was incredible. It was incredible. What a
I mean,
spear.
also just to point out the fact that the man's not wearing elbow pads, he's not wearing knee pads, nothing like that. Bron Breakker runs between the ropes and then just tears him in half, throws him out to Otis, who then throws him again into the commentary desk. ISO Speed is murdered.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, you get a couple of names to fill up the ring. You get Sheamus, you get Jimmy
Yeah.
Uso, Andrade, and then the man that I think a lot of people thought would be had the most eliminations, and he kind of did in the end. It was a tie between him, Bron Breakker, and Roman Reigns. You get Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
And for a little while, for this portion of the Rumble, it is just who can come out and stare down with Jacob Fatu. You get Jacob Fatu and Bron Breakker. You get Jacob Fatu and Penta.
Yeah, a lot of them were very exciting. I mean, you just see them two in the ring. Them, especially Bron Breakker and Jacob Fatu, who personally I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've had as much fun watching wrestlers as I have them two in the
Oh no,
past. I don't even know how long, since maybe Dean Ambrose is my favorite. Them two are incredible athletes and just incredible in the ring. You know what? They could good on the mic as well. They're just incredible.
I think Jacob Fatu probably got the best showing out of anyone in this Rumble.
Yeah,
I think he looked incredible. He looked so strong. He got to throw out Jimmy Uso. He got to throw out Andrade. I'm thinking off the top of my head, checking if anyone else he threw out. No one else. He got 4 eliminations, so that was Jimmy Uso, Andrade, Rey Mysterio goes out at this point, and then there's one more that I can't seem to find. Chad Gable. Chad Gable goes out at the same time as well. He gets 4 eliminations. He gets the big stare downs, uh, and then you get number 14, The Miz, and then number 15, the first. Well, other than ISO Speed, obviously the first surprise of the night, if you could call it that, because everyone knew he was going to be there. Say his name and he appears. Joe Hendry is in the Men's Royal Rumble,
good stuff.
and he wasn't in there long. He got 3 minutes, but he was
You
only
don't
there
need
for his
any more,
entrance.
really.
There for his entrance, get the TNA World Title on TV. It was a lovely
Definitely
little moment.
big time. Yeah, and I mean, he had a good showing while he was in there. Got some good moves.
Mm-hmm.
There. Who was it that he did he did his finisher on? 'Cause Sheamus was just stood watching him.
All right, so Sheamus stood there watching him. I believe, I want to say it was The Miz.
Yes, yeah,
The Miz
yeah.
sounds about right.
I'd love that rivalry, like in the WWE. I think
Oh,
that'd be awesome.
just on the mic. I don't want to see him wrestle, but just
I
have him
don't
argue
even.
on the mic every
I
week.
wouldn't mind seeing them wrestle either. I think
Oh,
they probably,
I don't think the Miz can wrestle very well.
No, but give him a shot with Joe Hendry. Let's see
That's
in
fair.
TNA as well. You could send a Miz to TNA, have him have a go
Oh, I'd
there.
love that.
Yeah,
The most pro WWE man in the world. Like that man is the embodiment of WWE. Let
exactly.
him
There you
go
go.
fuck up TNA.
Mhm.
I'd like to point out before we move on to the second half of this Rumble, because Joe Hendry was number 15.
Yeah,
By this point I was loving everything. I was
yeah,
so immersed in the kind of how the mid card was being presented that I'd actually forgotten that all the main eventers still hadn't shown up yet.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Gray was an awesome start. Some great spots in there as well. The stare downs, the just some of the general kind of actual wrestling spots. It started very well.
Well, you get on to number 16, and this is where the main event Rumble starts. As you get Roman Reigns coming out, you then get Drew McIntyre coming out afterwards. They get their little stare down. Roman Reigns and Drew Street screaming into each other's faces about how much they hate each other. And then you get Finn Balor, which
Yeah,
really upset me because they've changed his theme again, so he got no reaction at all. But what he did get, to be fair to him, was a penta elimination.
yeah.
Now, this very much felt like Finn Balor as a solo guy.
I
I don't know if
I
I'm the
hope
only
so.
one that feels that.
No, I'd hope so. I would hope so. Um, but you said earlier, the Judgment Day seems to be quite important to Triple H, so we'll see
Yeah.
how he books it. But I really do hope Finn Balor is a solo guy. We know how good he is, obviously.
Especially with JD McDonough being out as well.
Yeah,
So moving on from that, you got Nakamura, who I'm not sure why he's here.
he's past it.
He's the US champion, and people were happy when he won the belt because LA Knight wasn't working. But I don't see a spot for Nakamura anymore in WWE. I'm sorry, I know that's harsh. I don't think he cares much
No.
anymore. I think strong style is what got him into NXT, got him onto the main roster, and he turned around at one point when he was on the main roster basically and was like, "Why am I gonna throw my ass out on the line, and do the strong style where I'm getting beat up every week if I'm not being appreciated?" And I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't really blame him. The way he was mistreated all them years, as you know,
Hmm.
he got all them pops. I mean, some massive pops Nakamura got back in when he was like, just starting out on the main roster. Um, and yeah, I mean, he won a Royal Rumble, I guess, at one point, but he never got a world
Nothing came from
title,
it.
and he definitely should have had a world title in them kind of
He
years.
should have won the world title that year, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think when you speak about dropped balls, I think Nakamura definitely is one of them.
Oh, definitely. You then get number 20, which was Jey Uso. Biggest pop of the night, other than Alexa Bliss, I'd say.
Probably just so over. He's just so over.
He's so over, and at this point, I was turning around, and we'll get into it a bit later. Well,
Hmm.
probably quite a lot, but he's just he's such a reliable hand.
Definitely.
When he came out, I was like, you know what? Give him a final four spot or something like that. He deserves to kind of the fruits of his labor.
Yes, definitely.
You move on, then you get AJ Styles. You then get Braun Strowman, who eliminates Jacob Fatu, so he's now out of the match. And then 23, for his 23rd and final year in the company, you get John Cena. And he comes in and does absolutely nothing. He just stares down with Roman Reigns for 2 whole minutes,
It was a nice.
pulling his stupid like shocked face that he does. And then you get CM Punk,
Hmm.
who comes in and does nothing and just stares holes through Roman Reigns while John
Yep.
Cena does his stupid cartoon faces in the corner.
And
Just in the
then,
middle of this blood feud, and Cena's like,
yeah.
and then
I
number
mean,
25,
yeah.
you get
There you
Seth
go.
Rollins, and you've got the four pillars of this Royal Rumble, essentially. Four of the biggest names WWE have
It was a
over the
great
last 10,
moment.
15 years.
I really enjoyed seeing that. Them four, and you know what? John Cena and CM Punk going in and doing nothing originally. I think now I look back on it, it was a great decision. Just because of that stare
Oh,
down, them
definitely.
four. It was just so cool to see them four staring each other down. And in the end, Rollins goes for Punk, and Reigns and Cena have a little bit of a bit of a fight. But yeah, I think I don't know if it was after, but I think we were all waiting for that shield spot stare down.
Yeah.
We did get it, and we do get a
It
bit
was at the
more, as we
very,
spoke
very.
about before.
Obviously, it's another thing we'll jump into in a little bit because what a spot it was. But
Crazy.
yeah, you then get you've had all these big names come into the ring. Think, how can this get any bigger? Number 26, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh yeah.
Main event, Dominic Mysterio. He should have won the Rumble. He
I
comes
mean,
in, he doesn't do too much, doesn't get any
he
eliminations.
gets spot on John Cena with his frog splash. It was
Of
decent.
course, yeah, he comes in and gets the frog splash done. But
Yeah,
he's another one he's a reliable hand.
definitely.
I really like Dom. He's over with the crowd. They love to boo
Hmm.
him.
Yep.
27, you get Sami Zayn, who really gets a weak showing in this match, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't even
And I
remember him being in
think
the
it's
match.
intentional.
Probably. I'd imagine so. I think it was trying to reflect the way he'd probably been shaken up, which just leads me to believe there's something in that Cody and Sammy kind of
Hmm.
rivalry. I don't know. It's just something telling me that there possibly is something in it.
Maybe
But we'll
not a
see.
match at Mania, but I think there's definitely a match down the line.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You then get Damian Priest, who comes out and doesn't do too much, eliminates Dominic Mysterio, which did worry me. I was like, having those two in the ring at the same time. Come on now, we're done. You get LA Knight at 29, and then your favorite wrestler at number 30. Because just to pull back the curtain a little bit, when Logan Paul came out at 30 and when he did certain spots, Alfie was screaming about how it ruined the entire Rumble because he believed that Logan Paul might actually win it.
It was bad. I don't like Logan Paul. I'm not going to
Really?
speak anymore on it. I'm not going to speak anymore on it because I don't think my opinion matters on him. when he's actually a good wrestler. But
Mhm.
no, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he
Just
comes in and he gets elimination quickly.
yeah.
This is the weird one. This is the one that all the reports have come out backstage about. So Logan Paul comes out and he's set to eliminate. Well, he's set to get into a scuffle in the corner with LA Knight.
Hmm.
But pretty much as soon as he comes out, because Damian Priest at this point is currently in the corner with LA Knight, as soon as he comes out, it seems like Drew McIntyre has been hastily thrown over by Damian Priest
Yeah.
in a spot that also didn't really make sense as to why Priest would be the one to eliminate him, especially as Priest has just moved to SmackDown.
Yeah.
But this isn't a feud starting. They're not going to capitalize off this.
No.
I think it's probably my only slight negative on this match is Drew McIntyre. It's
Yeah.
the only thing I can turn around and say, like, this wasn't perfect.
No. I don't know. You look, I'll see what they do with it, obviously, but I think there was probably some errors in there. I do think, unless it was a storyline that Drew's probably overreacted by storming out, I think there was
Hmm.
definitely more adult ways to work it out. But again, if it's a storyline, then WWE have done that kind of thing before,
No, of
especially
course,
with
yeah. They did it
Drew.
last year.
We've seen it with Drew as well before.
Hmm.
That man can sell walking out and storming off. He's good at it.
Drew
So we'll see.
McIntyre once famously said that assume any report you read about me is bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
We'll see. We'll see what they do with him. Drew's just great. Drew's a great actor. Great in the ring. I mean, he's definitely one of the top dogs at the company. It won't be
mhm.
long until he's probably on a world title. I don't know
Oh,
if
no,
it won't be this
definitely.
mania. I don't think it'll be this mania. I think he'll be stuck with other things. But near future.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the last kind of 15, 20 minutes of the Rumble
Yeah.
because I think it's all executed so well. From Matt Drew's elimination to the very end, I think
Hmm.
it's all perfect.
Yeah.
You've then got on one side, you've got Logan Paul and LA Knight, and LA Knight boots Logan Paul and he lands on the announce table. It
Yeah.
was an impressive spot. It made sense to give it to Logan, if I'm honest. I don't think anyone in this match really else could have
No, I don't
used
think
it
so.
like he did.
No, probably not. He's a good athlete, and he definitely showed that.
And I mean, standing on the commentary table drinking a bottle of Prime, it's incredible shithousery.
Yeah.
Then LA Knight gets thrown out. AJ Styles is on the apron, so Logan Paul jumps back in, throws him out.
Hmm.
That I think that's a hell of a Mania match.
I think so. Yeah, I think we've seen. I mean, AJ Styles can perform anyway, can't he? I think he could wrestle anything. So yeah, it'd give it'd give Logan as much as I don't probably want it. I think it'd give him a
Mm-hmm.
good push up the roster if that's what they want to do. So yeah, and I also think it would make a great match. I mean, they're both great in the ring, so I don't see why not.
Oh, definitely. So by this point, I think there's six names left. You've got Jey Uso, you've got John Cena, you've got Logan Paul, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Mhm.
Everyone's on the ground until you get Roman Reigns in one corner and Seth in the other.
It was cinematic. Absolute cinema.
It was absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. I mean, the camera angles of Seth getting up and Roman staring him down, shaking his head a little bit. Man, it was like he had his back to him as well. It was just all kind of bringing back the Shield memories. It was, you know, and as much as part of me wants them to all make up and it all be the Shield again, I love them too wrestling. I mean, we saw it in the match. They were so good when they're
Oh,
against each other.
definitely.
They are so good just because of how good of friends they are in real life.
And
They've
they've
got
done
chemistry.
such
They've
a
just got
good
everything about
job.
it.
They've done such a good job of keeping them apart for so long now. Because even at WrestleMania last year, they weren't interacting much with each other,
No.
bar kind of the big spots that they had. Because there's just those teasers that I'd assume maybe this year that's your Mania match.
I hope so. I do hope
And I
so.
think it's a really smart way to go. I
Yeah.
think I think the Punk's probably involved in that somehow. I think Drew's probably involved in that somehow. I'm not sure how you get there,
Yeah.
but
See, Punk, it confuses me with Punk because, you get once they're all out of the ring together, we'll add on that once Punk had. So we'll get on to the elimination first of them
yeah,
three.
I really didn't want to talk about it.
No, but we'll skim past it quick. So Rollins
CM
and
Punk throws out both of them as they're
yeah,
on the
because they were trying to
ropes.
eliminate each other. Yeah, and then Logan Paul
Big
comes
spot
in
for
behind him.
Punk, and then Logan Paul.
Yeah, he comes in and eliminates Punk, but I have to say it's quickly overshadowed by the story that happens then outside the ring. Quickly
Oh yeah,
overshadowed. And I think that was probably intentional by WWE. Give Logan his spot, but then kind of remove it from him
yeah.
and make this about what's happening outside the ring. You get Seth Rollins standing up while Roman is complaining about Punk, saying, "What are you doing? Why did you eliminate me? We teamed up like not long ago." And then comes the double-footed stomp. Possibly one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was incredible. Incredible, like professionalism from both. Roman selling it as well. He looked dead. He looked dead, you know. And then Rollins obviously goes and attacks Punk. Oh man, it was just
I've got
cinematic
to ask you the
beauty.
question because I've watched it a couple of times. I'm not too sure on my answer. Was this a Seth Rollins heel turn?
Yes, I think it was. And I think
I
we
think it
both
should be.
agree. I think we both agree Seth always has worked better as a heel. It's been hard recently for him to get over as a heel because they just love him. The song.
Oh,
I
of
think
course, yeah,
I think for me personally, a good move is bring back his old theme. I think bring back
yeah.
his old theme. Make sure they can't sing to it. Make
Of
sure he is a heel. You know what I mean? That his music is part of the reason why he's such a babyface, is because everyone loves him and everyone loves to sing his song. You know,
course, yeah.
bring him back as a heel. Bring back what is it? Was it Architect or the Visionary, whatever it was
Visionary,
before?
yeah.
Yeah, that theme. Bring back that theme. When after he left the Shield, that theme. Forget Burn It Down because that will give him a bit
That'll
as
get a
well.
pop as
You know what I
well.
mean? Yeah, I think you just send him back to old Seth.
I
Uh,
wouldn't be against it at all.
and I think you throw away his silly wardrobe as well. You know what I mean?
You know what? The silliest thing you can have is give him a blonde streak in his hair again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. That'd be huge, you know. I think you just revert back to it because heel Seth versus because when they did heel Seth versus babyface Roman back in the day, Roman was never
Hmm
babyface enough for it to really
Oh, of
hold
course, he
weight.
wasn't. He wasn't loved
Now,
enough, and
now that's a huge match. You know, I think that's beautiful. I think it, but yeah, you talk about Punk. Where does he fit into it? I don't think he does. I don't know. I don't know because it's weird because Seth seems to. I mean, he does hate him as well. So you know, it is strange.
well, my thinking was you can't just do Drew and Punk at Mania
No.
because they've done it 3 times now. That's done. I thought maybe it would be a triple threat
Hmm.
between between Punk, Drew, and Seth.
Yeah.
But then Seth now seems more focused on Roman. Maybe you get a tag match of sorts, or so I'm really not sure. That's
Maybe
the
Punk's
one
in the
part of
title
Mania.
picture. Maybe Punk's in the title picture come Mania. We don't. I don't
See,
know. You know.
that's what I'd like, and he
Yeah.
was my pick to win this Rumble.
Yes.
I think he was everyone's pick to win this Rumble. If
I
most
think so.
people
Yeah.
who when you ask most people who they wanted, they would have said Punk.
Hmm.
But I think it's set up so perfectly to be Cena.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
It's
let's
strange.
talk about it, right? So you got the final 3 left in the ring.
Yeah.
You got Logan Paul, you got Jey Uso, and you got CM, and you got John Cena. And we felt a little bit deflated at this point, only for a minute or so,
Yeah. I
just
think it was
because.
the pool elimination. But as I say, the stuff outside the ring orchestrated. It was orchestrated perfectly
No,
to
no,
kind
I
of bring you
completely
back
agree.
to life. You know.
But I
And
more
then
just meant
Logan.
we went back. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Logan's out pretty quick anyway between
Hmm
them three. So then, I mean, go ahead.
yeah, I just want to run through these spots. So Cena gets them both on his shoulders for an AA.
Hmm.
Jay slips out. Turns out he's
Yeah,
quite good at that. Super kicks Logan.
yeah,
Cena throws him out. Your final 2 standing at each other in the ring are probably the two of the most popular people in the company. You got Jey Uso on one side and John Cena on another.
yeah.
And by this point, all I'm thinking is good for Jay.
Hmm.
He's worked his ass off for so long now. He's getting his big final 2 spot. Of course, he's going to
Yeah.
get eliminated by Cena, but he deserves this. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he can still get the Gunther match at Mania.
Hmm.
And then it happens.
Yeah,
And just
it was
this
mixed
entire this
emotions with this
entire
one.
run, this entire run of just 5 minutes, I think is a perfect final 2. Cena
Hmm.
hits the 5 knuckle shuffle. tries to throw
Yeah.
him out. Jay gets the spear, and then they both throw each other out, and they're both standing on the apron.
Yeah.
They do the back and forth. You got one blow each. Cena does a very impressive spot for a man of his age and his stiffness, where he has
Yes.
one foot on the apron and one dangling off.
Yes.
And Cena then gets him up for the AA.
Uh-huh.
And you think, you know what, this is it. This is it. Great Rumble. Great into the Rumble. Cena's going to WrestleMania. Jey Uso slips out of the back, pushes John Cena, who lands on his feet. Jey Uso is going to the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was mixed emotions at the time. It was happy at the time, and I think it still is happy now, but it was like just that shock. But we said before it even started, I wonder if, or I hope he just kind of goes at one point, you know what? Yeah, forget it. I'm gonna make someone that's not expected to win, you know?
Well, that's what. So we said at the start, right, that if there's anyone who's going to get the surprise win, it would end up being Jey.
Yeah, Arthur put a pound on it.
But yeah, it's 17-1 or something like that, I believe.
16, I think he got
Oh, is it
16.
16-1? As we got 17 quid.
Yeah,
Because you get your quid back, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
But I just didn't believe it. I don't think anyone really believed it.
Yeah, you could. I thought it was. I mean, yeah, incredible, incredible stuff.
Do you think it was the right decision?
Yes, I think it was. I don't. It probably wouldn't have been my first choice, but looking at how that Rumble went, the shock ending made it just an even better Rumble.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
I think if you would have had John Cena and Charlotte Flair in one night, I think it may have been a bit disappointing. But Jey Uso winning that Rumble, it was unexpected, it was shocking, and yeah, incredible. I don't know.
Well, me and you spoke about it on the night, right? And I made the point of this doesn't feel as good if Charlotte doesn't win the Women's Rumble. Because you had
No,
such a predictable name, such a name that people weren't behind, a name that's probably not over, if I'm honest, is Charlotte Flair.
no, definitely not.
And everyone thought it'd be Charlotte Flair and John Cena, the two corporately picked guys, to go on a main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because for so long, that's what we've known, right? You look at Rusev, you look at Finn Balor, you look at Zack Ryder, you look at Bray Wyatt, you look at Dean Ambrose. They all had ceilings
Mm-hmm.
in WWE. If you got naturally over, unless your name is Daniel Bryan, you've
Yeah.
got a ceiling on top of you. You'll never be the guy.
No.
You'll never main event pay-per-views. You'll never win a Royal Rumble. You'll never go on to main event WrestleMania. But WWE is different now.
Definitely, and I think that definitely showed throughout this event. You know, some of the spots as well. Even in the Kevin Owens Cody match, I feel like them kind of some of the dangerous spots you wouldn't have seen a couple of years ago.
Oh, definitely
The,
not. The
the
package
Netflix
power driver
era,
was a banned move.
yeah, the Netflix era is definitely. I think it might have changed some of the outlooks
100%.
for Triple H, and I think it's amazing. But yeah, I said to you as well after the Rumble, that is the most John Cena decision.
Oh, of
Whether
course.
he was picked to win it at first and he said no, or whether he could help with it, or whether he just kind of gave us this and said, I don't really want to win the Rumble. I'd like to put someone else over. It's a very John Cena thing to do. Um, and then I want to quickly talk about his press conference after. Incredible, incredible promo. Really good,
Cinema.
really good promo.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah, absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema. He
Absolute cinema. Sorry, I thought you were
absolute
there.
cinema. I mean, he
No,
came
no,
across
continue.
as a little bit of a heel, but I don't mind it, you know. I don't think he will be a heel. I don't think he can be at this point in his career.
No, no chance.
But you know what? What he said was true as well, and I think I resonated with that quite a lot. That
Oh, definitely. He does deserve it. He's earned this spot.
yeah, his loyalty he's shown to the company and all that kind of stuff as
Mhm.
well. He did say, and he explicitly said it, so we can't really be that disappointed. He's not going to be on TV until the Elimination Chamber.
No.
Which I guess is fine. You know what? Elimination Chamber's a big event, and it's going to take a lot out of him. I don't want him to get injured in the run up to it. I want the
And you'd
story to
also
flow
assume
nicely.
that he's on TV almost every week between Chamber and Mania.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, he's filming a movie apparently. So,
Yeah, he's in
um,
Hungary.
yeah, he won't be here for them TV shows, and that's fine. You know what? You don't have to be all the
I don't
time.
think he needs to
He's
be.
no, he's older. He probably hasn't got it in him to be wrestling every week. Um, but yeah, other commitments as well. So No, I'm happy that I'm more happy that he told us. You know what I mean? I'm more
Oh,
happy that we
definitely.
didn't just like say, "Oh, where's Cena every week?" You know what I mean? I think people can kind of move past it now and look forward to seeing him at the Chamber.
100%. And so for Jey Uso, it's Gunther, I'd assume, right? He's hinted everything that he said afterwards is leading to the fact that in what I think should probably be the main event and night one of WrestleMania,
Yes.
Jey Uso
Yeah.
goes up against Gunther and probably wins the World Heavyweight title.
Yes. And I think unless Gunter loses at Elimination Chamber, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that's
I just
that's
don't
why we're in
see
such a good
why he
position.
would.
If they wanted to give John Cena a belt so we could keep Cody free for
I
someone
think
else,
I think the plan with Cena is to win the belt later in the year.
you possibly.
I think Cena is the last person eliminated in the chamber.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't get the Mania match. I think he probably doesn't win Money in the Bank, and he just keeps getting so close and so close until he finally gets his shot. Say at Survivor Series or something like that.
Yeah.
Later in the year, he gets his big shot. He wins the belt then, but that leaves Cody open. I think maybe for Punk, and maybe you could
Yeah.
do Roman versus Seth versus Drew.
Possibly. There is history between all three of them as well, so it kind of would make sense, I guess. Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, and I said to you earlier, this is the best position WWE's been in. It's nice to be able to sit here and not know, you know,
Oh, definitely.
and whatever happens in them, I'm sure we'll obviously things will be confirmed in the next 3 or 4 weeks about who's going to be in Elimination Chamber, what elimination will be for. I'm going to guess there's going to be a belt on the line at some point, probably US title.
I would have imagined that you get a number one contenders for to face Cody, and
Yeah,
then you get Tiffany Stratton defending the belt.
I would have thought US just because they need to take it off Shinsuke, and there's a lot of superstars looking to go for it at the moment.
Just, I think just give it to Jimmy. Give it to him on SmackDown.
Yeah, that kind of USO push at the moment would be quite cool.
Yeah,
And that'd be
maybe
quite
you do
nice
Jimmy versus Jacob at Mania.
for the US belt.
I think it's a big enough match if it's for the belt.
Yeah, I definitely think Fatty's. We probably think Solo Fatty's probably the match at Mania as things
Yeah,
stand.
if
But
if
it's
Solo's back
interesting.
by then.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure Solo will have a part to play at Mania. We'll see what happens.
All right, well that is the Rumble. I just want to get one final review off from you.
Yeah.
Out of five, out of 10, Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, 7.5. I'm gonna stick with what I said earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 7. Tag match.
7.5 again. I think it was probably of similar quality. I think it was a really good match. So yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna go 7.5.
I'll give it a 6.5. I think it was a really good match.
Yeah.
Didn't get enough time,
No.
and I would have liked to have known more about the Street Profits' intentions because they've taken out a babyface group and a heel group.
Yeah.
The ladder match.
9. I think it was a
I was
9.
gonna say 9. I think I'm with you on that.
I think it was just so good, and obviously, best match I've seen of the year. But I think I'll take into the past kind of year, like
It's
as
the best
in
match I've seen in a
since
long
a
time. Yeah.
long time. Yeah, yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, 9. I'll go with 9.
I think at the very least, I can turn around and say it's the best match I've seen in WWE since CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
I don't think that's an outlandish statement or anything like that.
no, definitely not.
I'm going to agree with you and say 9 for that. I think it's a great way to end the story as well.
Yeah.
The men's Royal Rumble.
Uh oh. See, I'm gonna go 9.5 because I'm not gonna do my 9.9. I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Mhm.
gonna give it a 9.5.
I'm going to go 9 just because I think at times I felt like Drew McIntyre let me down. I think Sami Zayn let me down.
Yeah,
Uh, I get why Logan had to eliminate Punk, but I'm just annoyed.
yeah.
I
Me
also
too.
feel like Penta being eliminated by Finn was a little bit nonsensical, but
We'll
maybe
see
I'll
what
get
they do
proved
with it.
wrong.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with it. I think that it's an interesting story to follow along.
Oh, completely. Well, that is everything. Alfie,
Yeah, it
thank you for
is. Yeah.
joining me. It was an
Absolutely. I'm happy
incredible
to.
Royal Rumble. We are
Yeah.
now well on the road to WrestleMania, which means because we're in the UK, I don't get any sleep
No.
because I've got to stay up at 1 a.m. to watch all the shows, especially now they're all on Netflix.
Yeah, and on your birthday.
Well, it's on both of our birthdays, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mania weekend, night 1 is on your birthday, night 2 is on mine.
yeah. At least in the UK, it is. Yeah, it's
Of course, yeah.
it's not
Four
not the
four
most
days after I
obvious.
get back from Amsterdam as well. Oh God, I'm not going to sleep for like a week and a half.
You'll sleep when you're dead.
But that's why we love it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you for the next episode of Till the Bell. See you in a bit.
Bye.